Alright, let's turn this down just a little bit. How are you all doing today? Let's see here. Lots of construction going on outside. I'm just going to need to close this a little bit. Hello, Len Mitches. How are you? Can you guys hear me all right? It looks like the volumes on the mixer are not too bad. I just want to make sure. I've got a little bit of a dry mouth right now, so I think it's just really dry in the house today. Just got myself a little bit of tea. All right. You'll probably be on mute. No, you're fine. You're all good. Hey, Journeyman, how's it going? So this is what we were focusing most of our attention on yesterday. Let's see if I can touch things up here just a little bit. It's a little dark in here. On that devil's lettuce, and we all know it. You saying that because I'm Canadian? Haven't touched that stuff in forever. Alright, let's see here. No, oh no, goodness, no. No. Oh no. I'm assaulting your eyes, I'm so sorry. Here we go. This is the one that I was wanting to do. I was wanting to work on the... Let's see here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Making Tangles. Trying to get the focus going good here. Let's see. Ah, perfect. That's where we want. Excellent. Alright, so let's move along on for her here. Got our powerful wizard. Nope, is that Wolf Parable that I see there? Hey, Wolf Parable, nice to see you. Alrighty. Nice to see you, nice to see you. Here. Perfect, there we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is we're going to... Oh, I know, I'm so sorry, Fulgrim. I'm so sorry. Oh man, you must be getting a real delay if you just got that. Well, this is right here. Oh, wow, Mia, you wasted no time on that raid. Nice to see you, nice to see you. Hello, Evil Demon Lord. Yeah, she's coming along all right. She's not great looking yet, but I've got the lava effect going, which makes it look not bad. So I hope I can... give her lots of life today. She is very lavaistic, yeah. She is, so this is for I'll start with where I got the miniature. The miniature comes from the game Champions of Hellas? Champions of Hara, that's it. And I think she's like part of like the expansion box or something like that. Um, but what I'm going to be using her for is the game Frostgrave. So she's going to be my wizard for my warband. Let's see here. Man, I got the runniest nose right now. What is going on? I haven't used super glue today. Happened like shortly after I opened up the windows. Probably dust from the construction site. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ah, just focused. I usually reach a point where I think my paint looks like crap, and then it magically comes together. Exactly. I call that the butt ugly phase, Falgrim. Every miniature goes through a butt ugly phase. Right now, she's kind of there, but you know, I'm just gonna keep working, and she should turn out beautiful. Alright. Once again, sorry for the mute. I don't want to blast you guys with the sound of me blowing my nose. No one wants to hear that. And if anyone does, why? Why do you want to hear that? I have questions. It's not a very nice sound. It's like the nose trumpet. The trumpet of the face. Alright. Let's spread our focus, and I'm gonna just put in the whites of her eyes. Maybe that'll give her a little bit more life here. So I'm just gonna wipe the excess there off, give herself a point. Do that. Here. Come on. This is always the case. One eye goes perfectly, and the other one not so much. But this doesn't look terrible, so that's the good news. Hey now. What's this about? Still working on the magically comes together part. Why did my phone autocorrect halfway through? Oh, that's a weird. Yeah, I see what you mean. The colon. Was that a colon apostrophe? I can't remember. Yeah, apostrophe. Yes. There we go. Thank you. Certainable. I still like it, that phase. I can see where you're coming from, but yeah, no, exactly. Like right now, it's at that phase of like, you know, if we keep doing what we're doing, it'll just keep getting better. So what I want to do now, oh no, I need to finish. I need to stop doing this. So I have a habit of drop the mini, fumble. I'll start one phase and then I'll jump to something else because it draws my attention. Definitely a little bit of a. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. How's your hill giant, by the way, Dungeon Journeyman? I haven't seen it for a while. Do you got any pictures? Feel free to share them in the Discord. I would love to see it. I don't think I've ever seen you post in the Discord, good sir. I would love to see your stuff in there. You know, you're always welcome in there. Theoretical question. I'm just wildly impressed. Lines. How do I keep... Oh, how do I keep the colors in the tones? I don't know if I understand that question, Mia. I haven't worked on it since my last stream. That's been almost 3 weeks at this point. Oh no. Been busy then, eh? I understand. That's totally understandable. Life gets in the way. How do I keep the colors in the lines? That also doesn't make sense for me. I just keep slapping paint. That's all I do. I just keep slapping some paint. How do I keep the colors? Oh, in the lines. Oh, you mean like how do I not spill over to other parts of the model? I absolutely do. That absolutely is something that happens. You can see here I have yellow on the boots. I just have to clean it up after is all. Yep, no. Painting outside of the lines, I do it all the time. The answer is that I don't. Yeah, clothing on the neck. See, look at that. I've got lava on her boots. Lava on the boots. Can you imagine? Goodness gracious. Yeah, you can see I've got like yellow on like this part of the hammer. Yeah, no, it happens all over the place. I clean it up after is all. I just clean it up. That's all there is to it. Oh yeah, no, exactly. Like I mean, it's just a matter of time. Exactly, and you know what I mean. That's a great point, right? Like, your first time is going to be a disaster. It's supposed to be a disaster. It's, you know, you get better over time. Oh my goodness. I need to like find where her eyebrows are. I know she has them. Oh. Boop. Boop. There you go. She has eyebrows. Woo! Let's see. Okay, so she's got eyebrows now. And now, is that hair back there? Yeah, that looks like that's hair. I'm going to call that hair. Oh man, that focus. That focus is awful. Let's fix that. And this time I'm not going to adjust the brightness by accident. So there we go. Is that better? Is that better? Worse. Better, better, better. Worse. Okay. So I want to be in here. Why is it so awful looking? It's so grainy. There we go. Let's get some of that in there. Oh, that's better. I really need to upgrade this camera. I mean, I got a nice camera for like starting out, but some days, I tell you, some days it just does not want to be a good camera. It wants to be a bad camera. For those wondering, I'm using a Logitech C90, C920, whatever it's called. Yeah, you go have fun with your doggo. Bye, Pico. Have fun there, Sir Herb. Oh, it's lovely to see you again, Sir. No, Sir Herb. Dungeon Journeyman. I haven't seen you for a while, so it's nice to have you drop in. I want you to know I appreciate seeing you here. And I see right here, I misinterpreted a piece earlier. Her hair is actually right there. So we're just going to fix that up there. There, that looks nicer. Making tangles. Camera's getting very expensive, and streaming cams for stuff like this can be kind of hard. Oh yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Just bend this plastic out of the way. It's like, man, like I know that's worthwhile, but I don't know. Yeah, no, it's not terrible. It's the same camera that this one sculptor uses. It captures some pretty beautiful stuff. It's like a 4K camera. It's the Logitech Brio. And it's a USB camera. Got your own stuff to set up. Ooh, how long am I streaming for today? I'll probably be on for 3 hours in total. So I've only been on for a half hour so far. So, you know, yeah, I'll be here for another 2.5 hours maybe. There's like weird things going on with this model. Get any color there? Cool, I did. Yeah, let's see here. Maybe if I take some anti-drying. Ooh, excellent. Space Boy. Have fun with it. I'm gonna do another Dark Angel. I mean, unless there's new canon, I think you might be thinking of a different Legion? I don't know. When I last played, Dark Angels were not a traitor Legion. There's the Fallen, and they're traitor Dark Angels. Oh, cool. So I didn't know about that. Thanks there, Dungeon Journeyman. Oh, fascinating. See, that's cool. I always appreciate it when people share that. Alright, so I've got the reds, I've got the yellows. You know, I could go with like these dark blue. I'll give her maybe some, let's see here. How do I want to go about that? I could go with a blue top and maybe... How do I want to do this here? Because I've got lots of browns and browns and reds are within the orange and red section of the color wheel there. Yellows, which make sense. So what I could either do is I could go with kind of like a lightish blue for the pants, and maybe I could go something maybe like that. Okay, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. So this is gonna be a little tricky. So I'm not great at this. But I'm gonna go with not a brown, but like a heavy gold yellow, or like gold brown. I'm gonna do that for her top, and then I'll do kind of light blue pants. So let's see how that turns out for us. I mean, like, if we're gonna go like that route, like, realistically, everything in the Imperium of Man is like just a bunch of fascists. So, you know, there's no good guys in 40K. Like, everyone's evil to some extent. Like at there's the squats. Let's say I was actually just gonna mention. Yeah, those were those the dwarfs, the sci-fi dwarfs that were like from super old editions. Because I was gonna say at the very best, like. No, the tower also messed up and forced people into joining them like colonies. A lot of people are not in the Tau under their own volition. But no, what I was going to say is orcs. Because when an orc fights you, it's not because the orc hates you. It's not because the orc thinks you're inferior. It's not because the orc is afraid of you or your existence. An orc is going to fight you because in their culture it's the honorable thing, and they think you're going to put up a good fight. Whatever happened to the squats? Did they just get like eaten by Tyranids? Like, what happened to them? I was surprised to see Ogren make a return. See, told you orcs are the heroes. Yeah, no, like, I legitimately, like, the orcs are like they're absolutely chaotic, but if you look at their culture, orcs are like a bunch of Gokus from Dragon Ball Z, except not very classy about it. But yeah, they're like, I want a good fight. You, Space Marine, you look tough, and your armor is pretty. I'm going to fight you, and if I win, I'm going to take your armor and use it as a decoration. They had rules in one of the main second edition books. They didn't get a new codex or models and were removed completely by third. You got no reference in ninth. Fair. Yep. Yeah, that's fair. It's unfortunate. I mean, I think it's silly that they did that. I know there's lots of people that make dwarf models and sci-fi dwarf models. They have some love. They were like part of the Imperium of Man for a while, weren't they? Like, if you had like Imperial units, you could have squats as like a squad. Or like, is my brain just like misfiring and not remembering that correctly? Years ago, I think like 5th edition was still in rotation. Yeah, there's a reference to them in the ninth fluff thing. Aren't Caradon the 40k dwarves? I can't say I know what you're referring to, unfortunately. There, Fulgrim. Yeah. They were total bikers. That's right. I mean, like, the addition that they were into, like, this was like the early days. There was a lot of like funny joke models, and I think like Nurglings are one of the only reminiscents. Nurglings and what was there was a goblin thing that kind of became less and less prominent in the orc armies. I can't remember the names because they had, like, they were clearly space goblins, but because once upon a time there was three types of units, or three types of orcs. There was orcs. Was it snots? Was that what they were called? Snotlings? I can't remember. Yeah, there was the Gretchen and the Snots, or the Grots, and then Snotlings. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, Snotlings were the smallest of all of them, and I think those ones got phased out. So yeah, I mean, like, originally, like, grim dark or not, like, there was a lot of like silly comedy in 40k, like, just a lot of it. Because, like, it was a product of like the 90s. It was or 90s and 80s for food, ammo, yeah, no, exactly. And then there was like the Snotling war carriages. Goobertown Hobbies recently did a video. Well, I don't know how recent it is anymore, but he did one where he talked about them, and just they're silly. They're super silly. Okay, so I like that color. It doesn't take away attention, because that's absolutely, we don't want that in focus too much. Just want to hide all the unpainted bits. Yeah, no, exactly. It was a comedic game, right? Well, it wasn't a comedic game, but there was, like, orcs were a comedic army where they would suddenly just start fighting each other. Like, if something went wrong, and like the Snotling war carriage would just go, it would move in random directions, and whatever it bashed into, it would do like a buttload of damage to things, right? Like, there was a lot of funny spirit to the game, but the rules, were still like the rules didn't really support the funniness of the game, because you would still have things like morale, which was, something that was intended for competitions and people who'd be like, well, that's not realistic, or well, I did a whole bunch of this, I may as well have just won. Just silly things like that, right? Which are absurd. Because back then, like if I recall correctly, at events, and anyone wants to pitch in, I'm getting this information like secondhand in the first place. But at an event like a game, there would be a judge, and they would determine like if something was devastating enough that your unit would end up trying to flee. But if you didn't have that, you would use morale. I mean, like personally, I think morale makes the game less fun. Like when your group loses morale. My personal opinion. Like the idea of losing control of your units at any point. Like personally, I would rather just them all die. I would rather lose the entire squadron than lose control of them. Which is kind of why like playing Tyranids wasn't very fun in the earlier editions, unless you were like using like nothing but Gene Stealers, which people did specifically for that reason, right? No one would use Termagants and Hormagaunts because they would turn into wild animals if they got too far. So there are challenges, right? It's like playing Dungeons and Dragons and the DM takes over your character with like no forewarning. That's not fun. It's kind of annoying, actually. It's the opposite of fun. What is it? It's not player stakes. Player. Oh, there's a word for it, and I can't remember. Player agency. There we go. Yeah. When there are random things that end up resulting in players losing control of the way they play the game, you're taking player agency away from the players, and that is inherently less fun. Which is the reason why no one enjoys Monopoly, because the only mechanic in the game that a player has option in is buy or don't buy, which is a silly thing because the best option is always buy. Like, no one has fun playing Monopoly. Yeah, it's kind of like rolling a d6 and say if I roll a 6, like the first person who rolls a 6, they win. That's not a game. It's cool. There's different ways of doing morale. I think that the way One Page Rules does morale is fun. I like the way, based off of how Loki described it to me, morale works in 8th edition. It sounds really cool. But back in like 5th and 6th, your whole team would just scatter. Like they would go start running in a random direction, and if they got off the board, they were basically eliminated from the game. It was very frustrating. But again, like if everyone in the table likes morale, then you guys are having fun. I'm not going to dictate what your fun is. When I say distinctly not fun, I should be specific. Typically, in game design, removal of player agency is some like having random factors can be fun. Like they can absolutely be fun. I should, but player agency is something that you usually want to make sure is like preserved among above all else. You know, which is why in a video game, your character doesn't just up and disobey what your controls are when you play your game, right? Hey now, Dungeon German, play nice, play nice. Let's see here. For Wargame, I think morale is something important to have. Well, I mean, if you feel that that's important for your game, that's fine. But like, let's give as an example, like when you're playing a real-time strategy game on a computer, for example, StarCraft, Age of Empires, Warcraft, back when it was a real-time strategy game, there were no morale systems in them, right? Like you have full control of what your units do, and they don't just kind of like run away from a combat if they start losing, right? They start running away from the combat if you make the decision that they start running away, right? So that's kind of what I mean. If that helps give it as an example of what I'm trying to communicate there. Let's see. So, pull up that color wheel. And this is why I was saying earlier, too, there's different ways of handling morale. It's not all just a matter of, however it gets done. Like, there's the 8th edition Warhammer way of handling morale. There's the, one-page rule edition way of doing morale with Grimdark Fantasy. And there's the way of doing morale based off of, like 5th and 6th edition Warhammer. All of them are morale systems, but they all operate distinctly differently in what the results of losing morale is. Yeah, see, and like, yeah, exactly. Having like worse stats or something like that. But like in terms of, kind of like with what I was referring to, again, like if you have lower stats, that's why I prefer one-page rules way of doing it, is because it doesn't take away, like it preserves the player agency. Your guys can't do anything for the one round that they get activated. Like that's what the punishment is. It's not that they get wiped out. It's not that they start running away in a random direction. It's just a matter of like these guys are stunned and they can't do anything just for that one round, right? It's like giving examples of other games, like morale getting broken is it's a simulationist mechanic, it's appealing to people who want that kind of realism, but people who aren't necessarily looking for something like that are going to be less inclined to enjoy it. Because, like, for example, let's say something like Dungeons and Dragons. In older editions of Dungeons and Dragons, like second edition, second edition or like first edition, advanced, they had kind of rules for like a morale system, kind of like that, right? Things like if you took a certain amount of damage, you might go into system shock and just die. Like they had very, very brutal rules to them, and some people really liked that, and some people didn't. Hey, Fiddlebert, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, no, and you know what? Exactly. If Wolf Parable, like, there's nothing wrong with you liking the randomness of it. Like, some people like that chaos. For myself, I'm not a huge fan of it, because when I feel like player agency is removed, I kind of like, I'm not having as much fun. And that's me, right? You know, if I play with other people who are like that, then everything's fine. And if I'm not, then, I might have to bite the bullet. Or, just have a conversation like, humans. Oh, sorry about that. One of the best morale systems I used was from a board game called Soldiers, from West End Games. I'm familiar with West End Games. They didn't have a route thing, but a confidence level. So we could, again, cautious, worry, boldly, aggressive, cautious. Yeah. Wouldn't leave cover as an example. I mean, that's fair. And we're like those like preset parts of the units. Like that unit type was bold, or that unit type was cautious, kind of like that. Or as it was like a state that a unit could go into. Oh God. Let's see here. Oh, I think I see. Yep, that part's short. I need to do that. Yeah, it's like I said, I just don't have fun with morale systems more often than not. I don't doubt that there are good ones. I would just rather be the person call the shots, Because more often than not, I'm not playing like a war game of untrained villagers. Like I'm playing a game with like trained warriors, right? It's a big difference. That's why it's takes so much training to train soldiers. Or I'm playing like mindless aliens that eat people. They're not gonna get scared. So silly. So silly. At random, but you bid to activate a unit through bidding determined your chances of being in a state for the activation. Yeah, I don't think I understand that. I'll be honest with how that was phrased. I don't quite get what you mean. I'm interested, but you might need to re-explain that for me. That's dark flesh tone. There we go. There's heavy sienna. I'll be right back. Just need to fill up my wet palette again. There we go. All right, let's see here. Yeah, and I mean, I think for certain armies, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, if you have, like, a low number of units in your army, like, it doesn't really make much sense to me to have a morale system. Because the whole idea is that they're, like, you know, for example, the classic Space Marines, I don't think a squad of 5, you know, Space Marines or Terminators should necessarily have to abide by morale. I really don't. They're supposed to be, like, the ultimate unit, and that's why their point cost is so high. You know? But, I don't know. Like I said, I really like the one-page rules ones, where it's just like, they can't activate for the turn. That's it. That's the punishment. Moving on. As they, you know, get their bearings. Reference a game's morale system I like, in which some of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms games use morale to stat your special abilities. Interesting. Disordinary morale system in general unit. Started playing Blood and Plunder, which with that game, morale almost becomes a core mechanic. Interesting. So how does it work in Blood and Plunder? If it'll work. I'm very interested, 'cause if the game was able to turn you around on it, I'm wondering if it would do the same for me. So I quite dislike morale in games. Like the best thing I could imagine for morale in a game and what it achieves is it speeds up the game. I lost stream. Oh, I missed your thing there. Commanders had a command value normally 3 or 4. The bid track went from 6 down to 0. I don't understand what that means. Lowest bidder activated first. Oh, okay. Was that like the initiative? Then added bid value to command value and added a D10 aggressively required. I would have to read the rulebook to understand that. Well, first of all, it's more with Blood and Plunder. They have a bunch of militia and pirates, not exactly the most trained bunch of folks. And see, that already there makes me feel more inclined to accept a morale system. What I was mentioning earlier is I don't like morale because if it's a trained army, it makes less sense. But going forward there, so most trained, but basically your morale score determines how easily you suffer fatigue, and fatigue determines if you run away or hide. Makes sense. And then units, but then units can choose to rally as an action, having a chance to get rid of their fatigue. Also makes sense. In the most recent Nobunaga's, Nobunaga as in Three Kingdoms, yes. Nobunaga's ambition. Game morale is the key thing in battles, as historically it was rare to wipe out an entire army. And this kind of goes in with what I was saying about simulationists versus just gaming, for lack of a better word. That genuinely I can't think of a better word. To wipe out an entire army, so when you start winning or making good moves, you can just start steamrolling as they lose morale. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, morale's a real thing in actual war. Like, that's... Like, I'm not oblivious to that. I just want to make sure no one thinks that. I think that morale doesn't exist in real life. It's just, like, for the purposes of gaming, like, how do I put it best? When you punish someone with morale, it should serve a purpose. Because typically, like, as is if you're already like losing morale in a game, that means you're losing. Like your punishment essentially is the fact that your models are already dying, your units are dying, you're already on the decline. So mechanically in game design, to then add further punishments doesn't necessarily make sense, and should therefore serve a purpose, right? But in most games that I've played, losing morale is more for the simulationist aspect of the game, rather than like say a mechanical reasoning. If that, just that helps like understand like why. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm morale is absolutely a thing in a real battle. It always is. Like you could have a street fight with like 5 hoodlums. The moment like a couple people on one side start losing, the other side is more likely to run away. Bigger the unit, fatigue affects you. However, your force is not as flexible and nimble. I totally agree. The big problem with Middle Earth is once you get to 50% of your original force, you start taking tests, and then it's like a death spiral. Yep. Oh no. I'm all here for the conversation. I think the conversation's fine. I just want to make sure that no one gets heated, because there's a couple times I felt like some people were like, "How dare you hate morale in a game?" And I was like, "Well, no, it's like." I need to also preface my background, my education is in game design itself, and morale in a game more often than not doesn't serve a purpose of enhancing fun rather than enhancing simulationist, which again is not in itself a bad thing. It's just the way that I have basically been trained to think is like, well, this should serve a purpose that enhances fun. Like how can we do this in a way that makes the game funner rather than penalizing? That's all. And I haven't used washes in forever, but like for this, I feel like this is just going to be the easiest way of doing it. There we go. And actually specifically, like that's the reason why like those games I was giving an example, like Blizzard real-time strategy games or Age of Empires didn't have morale systems, is because they weren't able to execute them in a way that enhanced fun. So I don't know. I think it's like something worth like considering, right? Like if you're gonna have a game with someone, like, hey, how do you feel about morale, and like, and unless the game executes it in a fun way, of course, obviously. It's horrible. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. It's all good, yo. It's all good. You were doing fine, Wolf Bearable. I think about regardless of those games, because I do often dislike it aside from the examples I named. Yeah. No, I think like you have to be able to have like a discussion with that, I find. I think the steamrolling morale effect could be quite fun if done well. I think the thing is, oh yeah, especially if you're like, if that's the reward for winning, like, yeah. I think also too, like, one of the things you want to make sure in those kind of like situations is there a way to come back from it? You know? Or is it just like, now we lose? Using a often problematic game as an example here, Magic the Gathering, you know, there are times where in a game a person will just say like, I have no way of coming back from this good game, and the game hasn't finished. Like, I'm very used to that being a discussion at the table. Like, Yeah, I just don't have a way of recovering from that. So good game, you know. So the idea of like having a mechanic like you are losing now and I am deciding for you that you're going to lose, like it's more fun often to have the game allow you an opportunity of being able to make a comeback, because I think it's really fun when a person's like losing and then suddenly like, you know, they throw a Hail Mary and it works. Like that's really cool. um yeah, man, that is like getting too thick. Like you are too watery and my hands are too shaky. Yeah, yeah, what you just described right there, Fiddle Word, like I that kind of stuff bugs me. A great example in a video game where they tried to reward players for doing good, but it resulted in penalizing other players who were basically already struggling, was in, I think it was like the first Modern Warfare game or something like that. Which is why for a very long time I disliked Call of Duty, because if you know, let's say you pick up the game, it's a multiplayer game, that's their main focus. So you know, you go and you log in and you start going to online multiplayer, right? So you're a new person, maybe you're having a bit of a hard time, your opponent is winning, so what does the game do? They've killed you 5 times. They now give that player a grenade launcher to further kill you better. So now you're really losing. Now that 5 turns turns into 10 kills, or 5 turns, 5 kills turns into 10 kills. So the game then rewards that person with a helicopter, and they proceed to just annihilate you. Therefore creating basically a snowball effect, right? Making it almost impossible for you to recover from that fight. You know what I need to do here is I need to grab a holder, because I'm just going to keep smudging this paint job, and I've kind of been working hard on it and I don't want that to happen. So let's grab ourselves a nice little holder here. Thank you, Mr. Holder. I remember those days. Yeah, no, it was like absolutely dreadful. Like I put the controller down. I'm like, I'm not playing this game. Like, and they're like, oh, you're just being a sore loser. I'm like, no, this is bad design. You know, and you'll notice like they acknowledge that was bad design, because later on in the next games they fine-tuned it and balanced it so that it wasn't a matter of steamrolling, right? And then like later on, like Halo decided to like adopt that, which was like frustrating. But like when they're like small rewards, like, okay, cool, we're not going to give you a grenade launcher, but we're going to give you something here and it's going to make it a little bit easier for you. You know, that makes things a bit better. If anyone remembers Unreal Tournament, I think it was like Unreal Tournament 3 or Unreal Tournament 4, maybe it was 2004, I can't remember. There was a game mode called, I think it was called Assault, and it was like a capture the flag game, except it was in one direction, and then at the end of the game the two teams switch sides. So one is on the assault, the other's on the defense. And it was a super fun game mode for multiplayer. And so in the later edition of Call of Duty, I designed a level, or not Call of Duty, later sequel of Unreal Tournament. I designed a level inspired by that using Capture the Flag, and basically would create nodes that once you've been captured, they can't be um, turned back. And the reason for that, again, was I was trying to recreate this game type. But the further along the losing team was losing, I would up their ability to defend their thing, because they were on the losing. Um, and if the other team is winning, they're winning. Um, so basically, just like at the very end, like if they were still managing to win, like I gave them like I think it was called a Leviathan. It's this giant, like massive vehicle that kind of reminds me of what was that called? Like the Last Day of Earth or something like that. Invaders from Outer Space. I really can't remember the name of it. Shoots big lasers. Super fun. Super fun. But yeah. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, a lot of the time, like, if those teams were losing, they still lost. It slowed the progression of the loss, and created these peak moments of excitement, where people at the end of a game session would be like, "Oh man, that was really cool," and the people who were losing were still had fun, because at the end of it, they were like, "Yeah, I got to use a Leviathan." And I got to disintegrate a bunch of people. That was really fun, you know. So sometimes I think there's a lot of benefit of not rewarding people for losing, but like maybe giving them a little bit of a way of evening the playing field. Like, how badly are you losing? Do you need help? If that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I've just lost too many games, and I just want, like, when I'm doing terrible in something, have an ability of having like a last ditch effort. I don't know. That's fully possible. But I do think a lot of people have more fun when that is a possibility. I think people depend on. It depends on how competitive the game is meant to be. I think that's exactly it. If it's a super competitive game, everyone needs to have equal, like 100%. Um, because like, for example, uh, Overwatch is a good example. You know, after one team successfully defends or attacks or whatever, the next team goes through the exact situation, same map, same everything, and has an opportunity to do the same. Actually, now that I think about it, Assault was basically what Overwatch does for their multiplayer. into that. If you reward losing too much in a competitive game, yeah, people would get yeah, exactly. You know, I think in a competitive game, reward, I wouldn't say call it rewarding, but it's essentially, it can feel like rewarding. I get what you're saying. It can become a strategy, essentially. Lose so that we get this reward, and then, you know, go forward from there. Which in one way, I think, while that could be a strategy method, it's a very risky one, because it's essentially allowing the opponents to get further ahead, right? So it brings up a fascinating possibility. Like handicaps in golf. Do you play a lot of golf, Fiddlebert? I know that you're from golf country. A very time consuming and expensive sport. I used to as a child. Yeah, it's definitely time consuming. It's not a you don't do a short game of golf. Mini golf is for. And yeah, clubs are expensive. And like getting access to the golf course is also expensive. Back in my hometown, there was a guy who he had enough property, so he made his own golf course in his backyard. Because back home, you know, you can have an acre or 2 or 10, and it still costs less than a house in Vancouver. I'm not bitter at all. I think I may have chased everyone outside of the chat. Oh well. Scared them off. That's okay. I like you too. Oh, no, Fiddlework, Justin. I'm not chasing you out. I'm enjoying having your company. That is the opposite of what I'm suggesting. No, please. Don't go. There's no such thing as hogging chat. Oh, sorry about that, Barry. It's like the most Canadian thing we could have done. No, that's not what I'm saying. Both of you. Stop. I love having you guys here. Cut it out. Oh, goodness gracious. monsters. I love how she has two Hellboy hands. I ended up passing on the Hellboy board game. So I'm glad that I'm getting to paint these. You guys are rascals, both of you. I mean, I assure you it's not nearly as bright and cool looking as the camera makes it look. Like, rest assured, it's not nearly as cool looking. I wish it was. Oh man, Fiddlewort, have you been keeping up with the Discord server? I have dived back into the deep end of the pool of Warhammer 40k. I don't know what to do. I have no one to play with. I'm just literally going to be collecting models. Please help. Who can help or keep up with Discord? I still don't. I mean, you don't have to read every single message. You know, you just, it's like walking in on a conversation. Hey, what are you guys talking about? That's how I treat it. Well, except for my server. My server I have to keep up to date with. It's my server. Unfortunately, oh come on, man, don't unfortunately me. It's not a cheap miniature game. So I mean, I guess that's good because I'm not going to be buying any duplicate units or anything for game purposes or mechanics. I'm just going to be like, I like this model, it looks pretty, and I'm going to paint it. Do have some models, so yeah, exactly. Tau. Oh man, I love Tau. It's like I want to paint anime today. Let's do robots and aliens and robots. in some of that fire. Oh man, have you guys not been able to see the hair at all? Ugh. Get with it, Chris. Get with it. There we go. Actually, yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if we talked about Frostgrave before, Fiddlework. Have you played it before? Are you familiar with the game? Are you familiar with the rules? Do you have a warband? Oh, good. It's coming along great. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Sorry, can't hear anything for a short bit. Good. It's all good. It's fine. Oh, no, not at all. I need to investigate. Okay, cool. So, Philwork, this is going to be a game that you and me are going to play. This is going to happen. Super simple. You get 10 models, and you go and you investigate treasure. You investigate ruins. You collect treasure. I can send you links on how to play. That's what I say to my friends too. Look, this is happening. Don't fight me. Please, yes, I can do that. The rules are real simple. I got the book right here. You've already got terrain covered, because, oh my goodness, Fiddlewort. Oh my goodness, do you ever have terrain covered? Let's see here. Probably rope Mia into playing it. Maybe. The heck? Is this not like... Oh, what? Oh, that's why. Because I'm dipping into my wash and not my metallic paint. There we go. But yeah, so you create a wizard, and you start off with 400 gold. Your warband, for a starting warband, can have a maximum of 10 people in it. 1 second. Maybe. All right, I'm back. Did I stop the music? I did stop the music. I'm a monster. I'm sorry. Let me fix that. Multi-device. There we go. But yeah, so you're a wizard, you have a warband, you have 10 units. Thieves and thugs are free. And you have a total of 400 gold to recruit people. Now, there are special soldiers you can get, apprentice you can get. The apprentice is basically a weaker wizard. If your wizard dies, your apprentice at a certain level can become your new wizard. Ooh, you're happy with how your Dark Angel is coming? Please post and share pictures. You know the drill. I don't need to tell you that. I should probably go investigate what package has arrived. Heck. Hey, no, it's all good. For the word, what was the last thing that you heard me say? Was I talking about the warband? Should I start over? While you're typing that up, I'm just going to go check my door. Good for you. Tastes awful. Ugh. Meow. Hi, Gannon. Oh, I'm wearing this inside out. Ah, man, I disconnected the music again? I'm sorry, guys. I'm terrible. Let me fix that. There we go. Oh. How do I... There we go. Thugs are free, yes. Yeah, so thieves and thugs are free units. So basically you spend gold on the special units, and then when you run out of gold, you just mix it up with thugs and thieves. So I have a in my warband right here. So I've got my wizard, who you start off, you have to have your wizard, and then I've got my apprentice. So my wizard is elementalist, so this is why they're both very elemental themed. This guy's not part of my warband. This guy's not part of my warband, nor is he. I've got I've got two thieves here. So these are my thieves. I'm calling them thieves because thieves have daggers, and basically I just have to be able to like visually look at them and go, yeah, that looks like a short blade. I call that a dagger. This is my ranger. My ranger costs about 125 gold. my barbarian. These two are special units, so they cost a fair bit of gold. Also 125 gold. And then there is this guy's one of my thugs. She's one of my thugs. Thugs use hand weapon and light armor, so I'm calling this little whip a hand weapon. I will, when I finish it. Aw, man, I love seeing the works in progress, man. Don't need to worry about that. And then I'm using this dwarf as a thug. So he's got a hand weapon. So he is a thug. So those are my 3 thugs. And then I have this guy is also a thief. And then there is a warhound. So what I got here, I got 2, 4, and then +6, so that's my 10. This was not a kit, but there are kits you can get. They're just called Frostgrave Soldiers. In Canada, they cost about $40 and have 20 units, so it's like $2 a miniature, and then you get like all these excess bits and heads and stuff. It's a really good deal. When you break it down, like dollars per miniature. It's a super good deal. I ended up getting their Knolls kit, which is like 20 Knolls. And you can order them through Imperial Hobbies, if it'll work. Imperial Hobbies does have them. But I think last time I called Imperial Hobbies, they were pretty low on stock. And what I love is that they have a box just of female wizards and just female soldiers. It's like Wizards version 2 and Soldiers version 2 is what they call them. So Soldiers and Wizards version 2. It's just women, and it's awesome. I love that. But alas, that is not where I got her. Also Fiddlework, it is, you're going to like this, it is miniature agnostic. You can use anything. Your pirate minis from Blood and Plunder, you can use them. As long as you're like, this is a thug. This is a thief. And you can look at it and go, yeah, you know, he's got the item description visually. So I'm going to call him that. Nice. I would love them all. Yeah, exactly, right? Having like an all-female like warband, you know, I've got, you know, for my wizards, I picked these 2 miniatures because I thought they worked well. But I'm really happy that I've got, you know, basically 2 non-white male wizards for my army, which makes me, or my warband, which makes me very happy. Because you know, I'm tired of. You and me have had the conversation. It's weird when like everybody's miniatures are just like white men. It's really weird. And like it would be especially weird for me in my D&D group, considering there are, I think in the entire group there's only 2 you know, white people. There's like everyone else is like BIPOC. Yeah, exactly, right? So yeah, I remember like when people like I don't usually comment on those posts, but when people on Twitter are like, you know, does representation exist in your D&D table? And I'm like, my D&D table has no white men. There's none. I'm non-binary. There is one white female, and then it's like gay half Filipino, like half Arabic, I think is what he said, or half. I think he just calls himself half Middle Eastern. You know, female, half Filipino, like there's none. It's, you know, I don't comment on those things because I think they're kind of like, I don't know, it feels weird, like a weird brag thing, and I don't want to partake in that because of that. Maybe I'm over analyzing it. That it's very likely. Because in the end of the day, we're all just people. That's how I look at my table. We are all people. Let's see here. See, that looks darker to me. Hey, Fiddle, or not Fiddle, Ganon. You replied just as Ganon made that noise at me. There we go. That one's like a heavy red. I don't think I want to use that. Yeah. Man, I've got to reach over so many things right now. I need to clean up my desk. Hi, Ganon. Hello, buddy. You want to say hi? Meow. Well, goodbye. You don't want to say hi. No hello, Ganon. Let's see here. Meow. Yeah. Hey, Nicole. Ganon, can you not right now? I was so mean to him yesterday. No, I am never mean to this cat. He rules the house with an iron fist, okay? Ganon acknowledges his rightful rule of the house. He's too aware. He is too aware of the power he wields. Meow. Hey, Mia, it's all good. Yeah, I'm still gonna be hanging out for a bit. You're all good. I'm still gonna be here for another hour. I almost said year. Not what I meant, but you know. How are you? How is the walk with the doggo? Love to see more Pico pics. I was just trying to tempt your husband into another tabletop game. I was trying to seduce him with sweet nothings of miniatures. No, what I actually was telling him was how to play a cool game that he doesn't have to buy new minis. Because it's miniature agnostic, huh? See? Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, no, Frostgrave. It's the game that I'm painting these minis for. I was telling him about it. It's miniature agnostic, so he can use any miniature. He can use his Blood and Plunder minis for yet another cool game. And it's about exploring ruins and a city and raiding it for treasure. And other players are playing with you, and other players are more obstacles. You don't have to like go and like murderize everybody. I mean, you can. It's a valid tactic, but it's not necessary for like making progress in the game. So it's a fun little game that you guys could probably play at home to help make the time go by when you maybe can't play D&D. I told him I'll send him a video on how to play the rules. I have a PDF as well, although I always encourage purchasing a physical copy. But, it's like on, I think it's on Drive-Thru RPG, I think. Even though it's not quite an RPG per se. I think I stocked up on so many different D&D campaigns. You're alternating them. Oh my goodness, Mia. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, as long as you feel like the time is getting by, I think that's like a valid coping mechanism right now. But if you wanted a game that you could play with your mister, I mean, like, quite literally, that's what me and my partner are going to be doing. This is going to be a way for us to play games together. Once I finish these minis up. It's a lot of D&D for sure. You're always surprised to run into him. Hey, Fiddlewort hangs out with me now. Fiddlewort and me are cool, okay? We're like besties for resties. Stealing your husband. What size of a play area? You could do like a 2 foot by 2 foot table at the smallest. They like recommend like having a bigger table, but like 2 foot by 2 foot is good. They encourage having lots of terrain. Incidentally, you'll be very happy to hear that. So like that's why I went and like purchased a whole bunch of like I bought like 3 ruined buildings. Why I bought a Mantic Games terrain crate. It was all just so I could play Frostgrave. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the idea is you want lots of line of sight for the game, because line of sight is going to help you basically have things to hide behind. Otherwise, like other wizards are just going to snipe your guys, because it's very much a line of sight game. But it's very simple. You each person just needs one d20. One d20. Your d20 solves all your answers for you. I think it's probably more. It's easier to get comfortable with my channel too, because I'm somebody he can meet online or like IRL too, right? Plus, me and him both have like the small town thing. Like we get it. There's no like smoke and mirrors where I say one thing but I actually mean something else, or like some sort of hidden nuance of like, no, like what I say is what I mean. There is no hidden message. There is no secret meeting. There is no trying to like understand. All right, well they said like they're all right with it, but are they actually all right with it? Man, I can't stand that about the city. I really can't. Nice and simple. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a real manageable game. Super manageable. Oh yeah, no. The skeptic thing, I totally get the skeptic thing. I mean, that's I was talking with my partner, and I was like, you know, I think I've come to a realization as to why I'm so like I will not invite people that I've never met before to my home, whereas like she's more open about it, because if I don't know you through somebody else, right, it's really weird for me because I'm from such a small population where everybody knows everybody. So even if I don't know you, I know about you. So moving to the city, I don't have that luxury, and my brain is like firing off like crazy, and I never even knew that was happening. So like the skeptic thing, I totally get it. Yeah, I think that's valid. See if I can get like some like kind of glowing hot like from handling this lava. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I think it's like I kind of was coming to that realization too, and it was partially because like when I was talking with Fiddleword about like being from a small town, and I was like, man, you know, like I wonder why I'm like this, and I was like trying to think about it, and we were having the conversation where everybody knows everyone, and then like it kind of like connected for me. I was like, oh, I think this is why I'm like that. You know, it was cool. Because like I don't take any offense to it because it's that's my nature. I get it. Now, if only I could get how to paint this in a way that doesn't look like garbage. Yeah, I like it when it looks nice and not wet, watery garbage. Give me some like nice like pigments. Right? Can I get some like not dry but like not water? I like it when it's not water. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of like go in there. Like the idea that like everything's like everything near there is just real hot. So yeah, no, Fiddlewort, you helped me realize some things about myself. That's kind of where I was going with that. I would freeze paint to a certain consistency. That would be amazing. I don't typically use wet palettes for this reason. Yeah, well, I mean, part of my fault was I added water directly to the paint to try and rehydrate it, and then it was overhydrated. There's about like 1 to 2 minutes where the paint is just the right consistency, and then it gets too dry. Yep, yep. Absolutely. Did I do the metal thing on there? I don't think I did. Man, I was so excited about the package. Turned out it was just water filters. Here I was hoping maybe I had something cool like minis. I mean, mind you, you can't really order minis off Amazon, so that's unrealistic expectation of me. But, you know, and I was hopeful. Okay, it was positive thinking. Miniatures. Alright, so I'm kind of getting happy with how she's overall looking. She kind of looks like she came packaged, pre-painted now, so let's dial that up a little bit in quality. We'll start off with painting her stone slab a bit. First world problems, though. Yeah. My paint is drying out too fast. Or it's too wet. I can't get the perfect texture. You're not wrong. Alright, let's dunk some paint in there. Oh, what's wrong, Ganon? Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna dry brush this rock. I'm gonna make my life difficult. Yeah, Ganon. Yeah. 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 Hi. I'd love it if my phone stopped beeping at me. It's been going crazy. wonder if I can make this like a really dark slate of rock. How would I do that? Oh my goodness, my phone will not stop. I thought I put you on like do not disturb. Nope, I guess I did not. Oh my heck. Oh my heck. Cannon. Alright, is her sledgehammer still reading as brown? I think it is. Phil, you're from a small town. Did your parents or family members do the same thing where they did with me, where they made the concept of strangers the most traumatic experience that they could? So I remember distinctly when I was a kid that my grandpa looked at me and told me, strangers will kidnap you and cut your head off and kill you. And I was a very young age. And like obviously like stranger danger is a real thing. Like, you know, this was when, you know, there was a lot of news that would get broadcasted about children getting kidnapped and the like, right? And man, oh man, like, you know, he was like, someone tries to kidnap you, you kick, you scream, you do everything you can because they are going to kill you. And I'm just like, oh my god. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. We were in the stranger danger generation, right? But yeah, no, it was like holy crap, Grandpa, like that is a traumatizing thing to say to a child. Okay. So like, congrats, Grandpa. You definitely got me like scared of strangers, like at a very young age. I don't think he's ever gonna see this, but you know, objective accomplished, I guess. Yay. I remember visiting Vancouver as a child and walking downtown, and I would not look at trash lids and those loose bricks or anything, and I just in case I would get attacked. Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think small town families they were a lot more extreme with the stranger danger thing. Because like whenever I am with people who are like city raised, none of them have like any of the things that I worry about. Where like, you know, for example, my fear of my somewhat irrational fear of inviting people that I've never met in person before to my home, right? Like the idea that they might pocket my things. Is this rational? Is everyone a thief? No, of course not. And you know, people who steal often steal out of desperation. They're not like it's not like stealing from me is profitable. But yeah, no, it's very interesting. I think it's very fascinating. I have that fear, but more on the serial killer aspect than the stealing aspect. Yep, yep. Yeah, we raise people with some pretty baffling expectations of what strangers will do. And obviously, there are like psycho crazy people out there who are like that. You know, like that's not an illusion. It happens. It happens uncomfortably often, but you know, on an individual level, Gannon, are you really, buddy? Buddy. Hi. Hello. Can I help you? Yes, Gannon. Yeah, no, it's I and like I'm never gonna be like, hey, you shouldn't worry about that. Like I'm not gonna you know disevaluate somebody's like ritual of what makes them feel safe and comfortable. The fact of the matter is, we should all feel safe and comfortable every day. That is something that we should all have the luxury of feeling, right? Gannon, my God. I love how we're having this incredibly dark conversation over some of the chillest music that I have collected. It's very lovely. It's very fitting. Yes. Conversation about thieves and serial killers. Delectable. Yeah, no, exactly. Fiddlewort. I anticipate you are no different than I am about that. I'm very like I would like to have met them in common areas, or like them to be a trusted friend of a friend, ideally before inviting them inside of my home. Is that reasonable? Not terribly. And I'm trying to get better. Again. Love of goodness gracious, buddy. Do you mind? We would just make lame house parties for people in their early 20s. Like, I'm okay with that. Cut it out. Where are you? You're hiding. You're hiding and meowing at me. He just hides in a corner, out of sight, and it just is loud. No, don't come back. Where's your toy? Where's your toy? Mama gave you a toy and I don't know where it went. Here it is. Where are you hiding? There it is. There we go. Alright. We're gonna take a quick break for this. A little dark. There we go. see anything, but you can see the movement. You can see that there is a cat there. Okay, cool. All right, Gannon. That's good enough for you. Yeah, no, I want to try and get better about it. Even if it means, like, just restricting access to a certain room or whatever. I want to get better at being a host of people who I can hopefully just trust. I think that sounds a bit more, a little bit more fun. Yeah, Gannon. How do you avoid back pain when you paint? That's the main problem you have. My chair is really low and my table is high. So from the tabletop to where, like, I am sitting, I am, like, almost like chest height of where I'm painting. Gannon. Gannon. Wow. I do lean a little bit, but I don't so much get back pains. I actually get chest pains. My sternum ends up disaligning a little bit, and I end up cracking my sternum in this very disgusting pop noise. So simple. Yeah. I have an adjustable table. So if you have a adjustable table, you're good. Yeah, so like if I... what have you missed? Well, Wolf Parable, we've talked about stranger danger, and how people who originate from small towns, like myself and Fiddlewort, as a general statement, not specific of either of us because we both suffer this, we're a little bit paranoid. Ooh. Die, bot, die. And smite. Ah, come on. There we go. Yeah, so me and him were talking about how, you know, the mindset basically of small town people. Basically, like, what is it about how we were raised that made us like that? And, you know, that's about it, really. I don't think you've missed a whole heck of a lot. I say this, like, very loosely, right? Like, I don't think there's necessarily anything inherently wrong about being precautious like that. And I think there's a lot of validity. Again, I struggle with it myself, and I am trying to see what I can do to be just a little less intense about, like, my, like, when do I go from reasonable expectations or concerns to unreasonable? Like, I just have to try and figure that out on my own, right? Ooh, that looks much nicer now. Yeah, no, I mean, I, I think the thing is too, though, right? Like Wolf Parable, um, I think also that has to do with countries. 'Cause, like, you're from the states as well, right? Whereas we're from um, up here in Canada, and city folk in Canada are very like, yeah, come on over to my house, let's hang out. It's um, I would say in terms of like stranger distrusting, there's more of a comparable level in countryside Canadians than there is in um, people in the states, which is fascinating. I think. Gannon, you're fine. Goodness boy. Ironically, our door was never locked as a kid, though. Yeah, you too, right? Oh my goodness. What is with that? Yeah, our door was never locked. Ever. Like, even at nighttime. That's changed since, but like growing up, yeah. We're so weird. Yeah. No, that I find it so funny that stereotype about Canadians being so trusting that they leave their doors unlocked. It's not so much true anymore, but for years it was. Gannon, quiet. Stranger danger. But they won't come inside, so it's okay. Strangers are like vampires, all right? They need permission to come in. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure how I want to handle her skin yet. She's got like almost like an earthy, rocky texture all over her skin. And, like, I can't tell, like, do I want to make it glowing? Like, how do I want to handle it? Okay, so I'm going to take that, put that up there. I feel like that's going to become an ongoing joke. Stranger danger. Oh god. Leave your door unlocked so Jimmy can come back home. Like, it made more sense to leave the door unlocked so that I could come home at nighttime than it did just giving me a pair of house keys. You never know if the key cutter will make a copy for himself. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Oh, geez. The paranoia. It knows no bounds. Cannon, you're fine. Don't scream at me. You're okay. Reminds me, if it'll work, when your parents sometimes walk around in the city and are convinced someone looked at them strangely. Oh man, my parents refused to take the SkyTrain. They were horrified. They went on once, just so that they could say that they did, and they were not comfortable. I have family members like that. Yeah, it's... and, like, I would have to explain, I'm like, look, like, really, no one cares about you in the city. Like, not in the sense that, like, oh, no, they don't care if anything happens to you. Like, they can't be bothered. Like, they just want to be left alone. Let's see here. Yeah, no, I kind of, I haven't, oh man, it's been so long since I've been on public transit. Hi, Zelda. Hi, Zelda. Hi, Zelda. Hi. What you doing over there? Hello. Do you want to come say hi? Hey? No, not you. You're mean. Zelda, do you want to come over? No? Okay. She's just gonna stare at me from outside the office. I want to be left alone sums it up well. Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't matter like how like don't get me wrong, like there's some pretty like drugged up people, but really like they don't want to talk to you. Like, yeah, maybe that like one like there'll be that time where someone does and it is super uncomfortable. Like I think we all have our share of like awful public transit stories. I have been on the receiving end of some pretty uncomfortable encounters where people think it is okay to caress my arm, or like that kind of stuff, and I'm just like, no, you are not allowed to touch. And you get off the train, you go on the next one. Ugh. Yeah, oh, I have those stories, absolutely. Ganon, my goodness, guys, like, I'm talking with my friends, go away. Oh my god. There we go. That butt looks terrible. I need to fix it. How do I fix this butt? I've made the butt awful. Maybe I need like an in-between color. Oh yeah, no. You say that. You say that, Fiddlewort, and I usually do. But when you're coming home from work and it's the Metallica concert night and there's only one seat. Well, there's only two seats, sorry. The one that's right beside the seemingly innocent person or the seat in front of them. I end up picking the one in front of them because I don't want to be that weirdo that goes and sits next to the girl because it seems like an okay thing to do. Like I'm trying to be like considerate, but I'm also like wanting to like be left alone myself. So I sit in front of her and using the miniature as a reference. All right, have a good one, Wolf Parable. I start feeling a finger making a circle motion on my arm. Like that. I was wearing headphones. I with my headphones off. I'm like, excuse me, can I help you? And she's like, I like your tattoo. Is that Donkey Kong? Which it is. It is Donkey Kong. And I was like, oh no. So, Ganon, stop it. It's story time, Ganon. Can't you tell it's story time? And yeah, so aborting would have been the smart thing to do. But again, this was the night after the Metallica concert. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get a seat. And on top of that, this was after midnight. So I was like, I've got to like this is the seat that I have. This is the seat I'm stuck with. So I'm like, all right, cool. Not cool, but I'm gonna make this work somehow. Help. So where was I going with that? Oh my goodness, it's just like it's mind-boggling. But yeah, so I'm like, yeah, it's Donkey Kong. And I put my earphones back in, and I am staring in front of me so hard I feel like I am laser visioning through the SkyTrain. And she taps my arm again, and she starts asking me questions, and she's like, I was like, okay, whatever. And she does it another time, and this time she's like, hey, and full disclosure, I'm a dum dum. She's like, hey, do you my cell phone's dead. Is it okay if I make a phone call to my friend? And I was like, yeah, sure, I guess. Why not? Again, I'm a dumb. Yeah, I don't like that color as much. I kind of like this one a bit better. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I'll mix these two together. See if that does anything good for me. Sorry, 1 second here. Ooh, that's much better. I like that color. So I let her use my phone because we're mid transit. She's not going to be able to like run away with it or anything. Again, these are the thoughts that I have. So I'm like, yeah, sure. You inappropriately touched me, but I think we're past that. Maybe, hopefully. So she makes her phone call. She lets her friend know that she's on her way. And then, after the phone call is finished, I see her flicking through my list of contacts on my phone. And I'm like, what in the heck are you doing? I was like, excuse me, are you done? And she's like, oh, yeah, sorry. And like, I tell my friends this story, and they're like, yo, Chris, I think she may have been like trying to see if you like had a girlfriend. Like, she was looking for like a contact or something. And I was like, I don't know. This is the worst way to do it. This is the worst way anyone could be doing anything. Gannon! Stop! You're fine. No! You're good, buddy. So yeah. So that basically essentially gave her my phone number. I didn't even take that into consideration as a possibility that somebody, would do that. But, whatever. Moving forward in the story, I'm not done yet. So, yeah, that's right. The story goes on. She then later taps me on the arm a third time. And she starts telling me, she's like, hey, so I feel like I have like this shortness of like breath. My chest feels tight. I don't think it's anxiety. Like I feel like nervous. It's not an anxiety attack because I know what an anxiety attack feels like. And I'm like, oh great. You're telling me what the butterflies feel like, and you're trying to pull it off like this. Because it was very clear that she was describing what a person feels like when they, feel nervous of, someone. And again, like the way that she was behaving earlier, only things I can think of. And I'm like, oh, do you need me to call 911? I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, can this go away? And she's like, oh no, I think that's fine. I think I'm okay. And I'm like, oh my god, are you okay? I don't think you are okay. So yeah, that is one of the stories of me on the SkyTrain. There are others. The others involve guys, which is not necessarily my cup of tea or preference. I mean, I can find, guys to be like pretty good looking, but not my choice. But yeah. I'm so sorry. People need to pick up boundaries and the no-go signals. Nope. I am in agreement, Mia. I am in agreement. Ganon! Why? Yeah. No. And that's the end of the story. Just for clarification, I have nothing else after that. That was just pure like, oh my heck, oh my heckity heck. Mia says, "Is it because I look like a psycho?" Yeah, happened to me was a butt grab when I was in my 20s, but I'm relatively trauma-free. I mean, like, yeah, man, you know what? I'll have to start telling those stories another time. Yeah, I am, man, I keep doing the thing. I am getting relatively happy with her so far. Never heard against anyone to attempting a respectful go signal. But once you receive the no-go, you just don't, right? Yep, no, exactly. You just don't go. If there is a no-go, don't go. Do not try. Yeah. Yeah. Right, Ganon? Yeah. Respect the no-go. Like, okay, so like I think the arm circle thing super creepy. Super creepy. And a big no-go with me. But I think if I was receptive, that a person would recognize, like, a no to that is like an absolute no. That is my thought process. Like I don't think anyone would ever be like, ooh, yes. But if they were, cool. They would have started saying yes right there and then. Right, I think you need to look for the enthusiastic go signal, rather. Right? I mean, we need to look for the enthusiastic go. So, Fiddlework just has the soulless stare down. I have this uncanny ability to soullessly look past someone who's being rude and pretend they don't exist. Wonderful. See, I don't have that. I have the very approachable, smiley, like harmless look, and it attracts me a lot of unfavorable stories. Like the number of times people have confided in me in things that I do not want to be confided with. Like, why? Oh no, why are you sharing me with that story? Oh no, 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 no. I don't like you anymore. I liked you before you told me the story. Oh no, 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 no. Let's see here. What's this one? Beastie Brown. I like Beastie Brown. But do I want to use... Okay, I should probably put some of these paints away so I can identify what I have on my shelf and what I don't. Do. Also, respect for the soulless look. I'm envious because I cannot do that. My partner has described me as being aggressively approachable. It's the best way I could put it. Of like, you're just so friendly and harmless looking. People just want to come up to you. Because obviously she knows about all of these stories and she laughs at them. Lovingly after, like, she knows I am okay, of course, obviously. It's because you have a soul, runs away and cries. Hey now, I'm half ginger. That's debatable. Yeah, it helps him because sometimes people's initial judgment is he looks fairly young and non-threatening. First impression. Okay, Fiddlewort does look very young. Me and Fiddlewort do not look like we're the same age. And by that, I mean, I'm pretty sure Fiddlewort is a bit older than me, but I know that I look older than Fiddlewort. Like, this is not a, like, ooh, maybe. No, I know I look older than Fiddlewort. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, okay, no, absolutely then. Yeah, hands down, I am younger than Fiddlewort, and I know I look older than him. Ah, curse you, Fiddlewort, curse you. Okay, let's see here. Where do I want to do this? How does one approach the situation? I'm gonna go with this. Sure. Let's do that. Oh my gosh, Ganon. Oh my heck. I'm letting my facial hair grow out, so if that'll maybe help. Maybe. Who knows? Or you'll just be young forever. Oh man, 2 months and it's still looking sparse? Oh, jeez. It sounds like you've got the baby smooth skin. Ganon, you're perfectly fine. It's the Japanese genes. Yeah. It's like my buddy who's half Filipino. Can't grow anything except for like just, I say this lovingly, just the grossest, dirtiest mustache. Like that is the best he can do. I mean, like some Japanese people can grow like the pretty impressive beards, but they're definitely not the ones that everybody can grow. Like a buddy of mine from college, Kazuma. He was able to grow a bit, but it wasn't very thick, unfortunately. Oh my goodness, Ganon! I mean, like for myself, I'm envious of like Italian people because, like, oh man, they grow like the thickest, just most luxurious beards. Whereas I have the Scottish genes and grow like this tangled, like tangleweed on my face. My boss is Portuguese. He's basically a chia pet. Yeah, not my line. Still why I never see what that happens. I'll shave them and go back to work. Yep, no, exactly. I will say this in the politest way I can. So you said it's been 2 months. I think your last stream was within the last month. Filbert, I did not see any of your facial hair. So I wish you luck on your endeavor. And just know that I believe in you. That's just know that I believe that you can do it. Just gotta believe. Ganon. Ganon. Ganon, oh my goodness. Like, why are you just so obnoxious? Okay, so these boots look awful. That's okay. I'm going to throw a wash on them and hope that that just fixes everything. So that's what wash is supposed to do, right, guys? Right? Right? You're enjoying this. It's okay, I'm not going for full beard. More of a COVID experiment. Yeah, there you go. It's just kind of like the food that you leave in the back of the fridge, right? Like, It's an experiment. It's the answer that you give whenever your partner is like, "Hey, why haven't you thrown this out yet?" Science experiment. And hey, I save time on those 4 days a month that I don't have to shave. I mean, like, that was my original reasoning for like why I stopped shaving. I was like, I don't have the time for this. Like, I don't like shaving. It's not fun. I get acne and ingrown hairs when I shave. So I'm going to not partake in this expectation that I'm supposed to partake in. And I've been happier ever since. And now I have like one of those razors with like a guard, and I just put it on like a certain setting, and then I just run it across my face, and it does everything for me. It's great. Yeah, that's the one I was using, right? I have no idea. Let's do a little bit more skin stuff. Just put on some more wash. You know, just wash and make it look good. That's the thing that people get taught to do. Just keep throwing wash on it. It'll be good. Yeah. Is that not how you paint? I mean, the joke here is that I quite literally never use washes. What is going on out there? Oh, did I put away the dark skin tone? I did. Hey, baby. Hey. Hey, no one called you. You're a jerk, Gannon. Gannon's a jerk, guys. Zelda! Zelda! It's okay. No, not you. Zelda! Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, I love you, Zelda. Hi! Hi! Yeah, do you want to come in? Yeah! She's just standing outside the door, sad looking. Yeah. And then Ganon comes running in, screaming. He's like, "Rah!" And it's like, go away. See, what he's doing is he's actually making her anxiety a little worse. So I'm trying to give her reassurance, and he just screams. For anyone who's curious as to like why I keep telling Ganon to go away. Hey, Robot Crash, how's it going? Nice to see you, nice to see you. I am not focusing on my miniature very well, I'm sorry. Yeah. I think you kind of jumped in here just at the very end of my stream, and my apologies in there. I actually have to get logging out here. But if you're interested in Robot Crash, I do have a little Discord community. You're welcome to join in. You can get the link for it by typing !Discord. It's just a nice little happy, safe space community where everyone can take a little bit of a time out away from some of the stressful things going on in the world. We can all just focus on happy hobbying and positive mental health. Or sometimes where we can talk about some of the things that are bugging us. I'm quite needing to actually log off here, so I'm so sorry they came in just at the end of that. But this is the miniature that I've been painting up. It is from a game called Champions of Hara. And it's a board game. I kind of ended up abandoning the board game itself, and I just took the cool minis from the box and saved them. Developed a little bit of a habit of doing that recently. I'm like, I haven't played this game in a year. I'm just taking the miniatures out. Oh well, thank you. I'm quite happy with how she's turning out. I'm actually going to be using her for Frostgrave. Some of my buddies have been telling me about Frostgrave, and I thought that sounds really cool. Maybe me and my partner, me and her can play it, and yeah, that's kind of where it's been going with this. If you don't want to join the Discord, no pressure. I'm already a member of like what feels like way too many Discords, so I completely sympathize with the feeling of like, oh no, I appreciate the offer, but not another Discord. Do I know of Rangers? I know of it. It is on my list. I have it in my favorites list at my favorite hobby store. I'm gonna try out Frostgrave first, and then I'm gonna move on to Rangers afterwards. But yes, Rangers of Shadowdeep is a game that has also been recommended to me because it's from the same designer as well as Stargrave. I'm very excited about that. But here, I am, like I said, I'm super happy at giving this conversation, or continuing this conversation, but I have to get ready for work. So if you want to join the community and, just have another opportunity to continue talking about that, that is the best place to do it. Let's do another, miniature painter. Make sure I mute the site because, oh my goodness, whenever I open it up, it gets really loud. What do we got going on right now? There's a sculpting stream. Let's see. I think he's probably going to be pretty close to the end of his. You know what? Let's go hang out with Kefa. We can do a raid. We're going to go hang out with Kefa Paint Studios. Nope, that's the wrong one. Here we go. I go raid. Then I do that. There we go. So if anyone who wants to join over there, it's an opportunity to just go to another paint stream. Everyone.